Hey Facebook, good morning. Welcome to Friday. Not long to the weekend, and hopefully everyone's got some really cool stuff that they're diving into or experiencing over the weekend, which would be really, really great. And this morning, really wanting to speak about releasing resistance and irritation, and how our survival mind sometimes gets some ideas about some different things. And this is, of course, very pertinent for me at the moment, because otherwise I wouldn't be speaking about it. So I'd love to have a really great interaction. If you guys have got any questions or any comments, definitely say hi, and would love to catch up and have a conversation about this as well. So the releasing resistance really can go back into feeling like at times that we're struggling, or we're pushing, or just that feeling of irritation, or feeling like we're not okay within ourselves as well. So it really can feel like, you know, we've got both hands up and it's like pushing against each other. And if you've ever experienced procrastination, or if you've ever experienced any of those things where it's you just feel like you're not getting through what you want to get through, or perhaps you're feeling really overwhelmed, or perhaps you're feeling that, you know, life has taken you off track, or that you're not getting through what you feel like you believe that you need to in a day. So all those shoulds and those have tos and musts and need tos. And what it actually does, it increases the pressure both internally and externally. And what I've found when that's actually going on is that it's really, really tricky to actually feel good in those moments. But not only that, it slows down the productivity. We can feel quite emotional. We can feel quite short when we're with other people. And it just doesn't allow for the flow and things to happen easily. It's kind of like when we wake up in the morning, and if you just don't feel right in your body, you feel like a little bit tired or a little bit irritated, and you know, you kick your toe, and then you spill the coffee, and then you're running late, and then, you know, the whole day seems to spiral. And I think this is a lot about what our actual mind does as well, in terms of a negative thought, and then it just seems to create this bit of an avalanche effect as well. So hey there, great to have you on here. And it really does create this avalanche effect where it feels very, very difficult then to be able to pull up our negative thoughts. Hey Inka, it's great to have you on here, darling. Very hard to, so we're just chatting about resistant thoughts and irritation, and how to overcome that with the survival mind as well. So I don't know whether you guys have ever had that experience where, you know, you're waking up in the morning and you know, it just seems to go on, where the negative thoughts start and then it spirals downwards during the day. And so I really think that love is a beautiful invitation for us to step into releasing resistance and releasing irritation, and feeling more and more freedom and a sense of spaciousness as well. And the way that we actually do that, I listened to a great YouTube video. Actually, I'll post the link afterwards, which is Ego versus Love. And I think Eckhart Tolle really explained this very, very well, in that our ego, our survival mind, is constantly looking to control things. It's constantly looking to feel like it's okay, and it creates the judgment, it creates the story around why we need things a particular way. The ego and the survival mind really does come from a huge place of fear as well, and that can be really, really challenging then for allowing love in, and allowing that spaciousness as well to come in. So with being able to step into more and more love, it can just be from a place of actually acknowledging how you're actually feeling. That is the first step to the moment, and actually observing, or even being aware that the ego mind is doing its thing. And I had that definitely come up for myself this morning, where I was sitting there and I find that, hey Nini, great to have you on here, darling. I find that what actually happens is that my survival mind gets irritated, or I might feel a little bit tired, and it definitely gets activated a lot more if I feel tired or if my physical body is not feeling as energetic as it normally does. And this is, I think, also really important to remember, that our physical, mental, emotional and spiritual bodies all interact with each other. So if we've got something going on with our physical body, it can't help but impact all of the other ones. And this is true both negative and positive. So the better we feel physically, the better we feel mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and vice versa. So one of the things that I notice is being aware, so catching yourself basically when you're in that strong emotion, or when you start to feel some of those negative thoughts come up, and remembering that that is just a negative identity. It's the survival mind. It's actually not who you really are. Who you really are underneath everything, underneath all the persona and the identities and the personalities, is your true core self. And in that true core self, that part of you always feels amazing, always feels fantastic. And it's when our mind and our body and that part of ourself are all aligned with feeling amazing, that's when we feel truly incredible as well, because that's how we're actually meant to be. I really do believe that we are joyous beings. Joy is our natural state, and it's only the ego mind that gets caught up in trying to survive, in trying to be enough, in trying to control things, in judging what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, all of those things that can really impact what's actually going on internally, and dulling down and dimming down the amount of love and the amount of joy that we can access in the moment, because the noise in the mind, hey Tim, great to have you on here, the noise in the mind definitely gets way too loud to be able to then access the truer self as well. So one of the ways that we can actually do this is by just taking time out for ourselves. It could be journaling in the morning, but the more that you take care of your physical body as well, really will absolutely impact the amount that you can tap back into your truer self and be more in a state of love, of natural joy, of being able to tap into what it is that you need in that moment, because the mind will be telling ourselves, lots and lots of different things, lots and lots of different stories about what needs to happen, or how it needs to happen, how life needs to show up, because it's constantly judging things to try and keep control. Hey Shane, great to have you on here. It's constantly trying to judge things to see, what is going to be okay or what's not, what's going to keep it alive. Because it is the survival mind. So it's trying to keep our physical body safe. And this is where it can really interfere, obviously, within relationships as well, because it's constantly trying to protect itself. And when we're living from a state of protection, then that doesn't really allow a lot of a flow and ease to come up as well. Hey Ken, great to have you on here. And it really does make things tricky as well within relationships, because if we're living from that state of fear and scarcity and trying to protect and keep ourselves safe, we'll have those walls up, or we can be on the flip side of that, where we feel insecure, or we feel needy, or we feel that we need something outside of ourselves. Again, it's just the ego survival mind trying to protect itself, trying to keep itself safe and give itself what it actually needs. And when we come back to our core essence, to our truer self, and be able to step more and more into that, and meditation, I believe, is really a powerful way of doing that, because it helps us to quieten down our ego survival mind, or yoga, anything that gets you back into the present moment. It's why breath is so powerful. It's why gratitude is so powerful, because it's what am I grateful for now? So it's bringing you back to the present moment. It's helping you tap back into your senses, senses. So it could be anything that you're, when you're fully focused in the now. So whether it's looking at your child's face and really appreciating them, or whether it's listening to beautiful noises in nature, or whether it's just wriggling your toes. And I know that sounds so silly, but it brings you back into your body, brings you back out of your head and into the present moment. Our head is, a survival mind, ego mind, is, always either in the past or in the future. And if it's in the past, it's worrying about, what's happened in the past, trying to fix things in the past probably, or if it's in the future, worrying about the future, all of those things. And we miss out on so much of what's actually happening right now in this moment. And I really think that love at the deepest form, so my true belief, everyone's got their own beliefs, I'm not here to change anybody's belief, but my belief is that love is truly free. Love is completely unconditional, so it's acceptance at the deepest level of what is actually happening. And Byron Katie, I just love her work. If you haven't done any of her work before, it is such powerful, simplistic but powerful work. And you can check that out on I've probably missed a W in there, but 3 W's obviously, thework.com. And it's really, really powerful to actually utilize that work as well, because what it does is it helps us to break down the concepts of the mind and to release a lot of the thoughts and the beliefs that we have around how things need to be. She has a beautiful saying, which is basically anytime we fight reality, we only lose 100% of the time. And I think that this is so true. But this is what the mind does. It doesn't necessarily doesn't only fight reality now, it's fighting reality from the past, and it's fighting reality from the future. And all that does is create so much resistance to what we're actually experiencing. And when we're resistant to it, it's like it takes so much of our physical energy, so much of our mental and emotional energy to keep that thing in place, so that we're actually not feeling or experiencing that thing. So it's like this pressure that builds up, this wall that builds up that doesn't allow us to move freely. And it really, really can feel very, very challenging when we're in that state. And, I can put both hands up. I visit that state regularly, but I have more and more awareness every single day around, how am I actually feeling right now, and checking in. And when I'm truly present with that particular emotion, or even just the feeling that I am actually resistant, and when I'm present with that, it actually allows it to dissolve very, very quickly when I allow myself to actually fully feel that experience and feel that emotion, as opposed to push it away, make it wrong, make it bad, ignore it, I'm too busy for that, haven't got time for that, which is all the mental noise from the survival mind, judging our experience, making it wrong, making it bad. And this is how we're actually deflecting and resisting our emotions, instead of just allowing them to pass through us just like a breath. It literally, emotions can be that easy, even with extreme emotions. And I've definitely done that around grief, like very, very deep grief, where I felt like a moment of sadness, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling really sad, laid down, cried hysterically for 2 to 3 minutes, and then it was like I was almost looking around for it, going, well, where's it gone? It's disappeared, it's released. And in that moment, it was just, I just got back up and just went on with my day. And I know that sounds silly to say that, but it can be that simple. And when we're experiencing emotions from that state, life becomes so easy, because we're not trying to push it away, we're not trying to resist, it's not taking our positive energy, our pure essence energy, pressure, and not that ever does. It's the mind that creates the pressure around trying to resist it, trying to hold it, and making it wrong to actually experiencing that. So love at the greatest level, I believe, is the acceptance of all things, and really helps us to come back to a feeling of just allowing things to be actually as they are, and not fighting, how the past was, not fighting how the future was. And I know they're strong words, and it can feel very challenging at times. I've definitely had those experiences where it's like, I just feel like I can't let go of that, or I can't let go of, my worries and things for the future. And again, it's just the survival mind trying to get control, trying to feel safe, trying to feel okay. And when we actually allow ourselves to acknowledge that in the moment, coming back to that deep awareness within ourselves that we are all that we need, we have everything that we need internally right now. And from that, there is such deep peace. And what I found to be the greatest gift for me, particularly over the last couple of months, is really letting go and trusting and surrendering to my journey. And when I do that, it changes everything, and suddenly my mind can relax. It's like I feel so supported, and all of a sudden, all these synchronicities start to show up. I'm back into an abundant state. My heart feels open and expansive. I don't feel closed down and shut off and stressed. And if there's tension that's going on in your body, immediately that it's the survival mind trying to get control back, trying to figure things out, trying to have things be a particular way, which is just a lower energy identity, trying to control things so that you can be okay. Whereas your truest self, your heart, your core essence, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call it, always knows that it's okay. It knows that it's whole, that it's complete, that it's lovable in every single moment, that there's nothing that you need to do or be or have in order to have that. Whereas the survival mind, the ego mind, will be running a whole bunch of stories around, I need to be this or I need to be that, because it's coming from a place of fear, and it's absorbed all of that information, particularly from 0 to 7 as we're growing up, around who I need to be, what I need to do in order to be loved. And I'm an A-type personality, which is very, highly driven, highly motivated, the whole achiever kind of thing that goes on with that. But what it actually does is it creates a lot of internal pressure as well. And if you're like me, I know that you'll be wanting to escape that or find a way out of that as well. So even escape, that terminology is saying that there's a threat there or that there's something to fear. And again, it's another identity, it's another story that the mind's running. And I'm sure that, if you're anything like me, you've got lots of voices running through your mind at any given time. And it's about being able to tap into that truest, that core self, that the voice is always calm. The voice is always just beautifully wise, and it really does help guide us every single day. And I know for myself, when I'm allowing myself to be intuitively guided, and when I say allowing, I've got my ego mind, my survival mind head out of the way, and I'm listening to just that core inner wisdom, which is just, it's all good, it's all going to be okay, just relax, we've got this. And it will never be, screaming at you or punishing you or telling you that you need to be a particular way or any of that. All of that is the voice of ego, the voice of needing control and needing safety and security. And I find the 4 biggest ways of identifying whether I'm in ego or whether I'm in a state of love is, if I feel judgment, either judging others, judging myself, judging situations, feeling like I need to defend myself or feeling criticized, and feeling like I need to withdraw or be alone or feeling separate from others. When I'm in that pure state of love, of my core essence, I feel completely connected to others, even when I'm by myself. Hey Marcella, even when I'm by myself, and there's never that feeling of loneliness. It's pure connection, first with what I call my divine self and my truest self, as well as life. And from that space, everything just expands, everything gets easier, money flows in the most unbelievable ways. I have the most synchronistic conversations with amazing people around the world. I had a beautiful 1-hour conversation with a soul sister that I'd never conversed with before, never met before. She lived in New Jersey, and it was just like, oh my goodness, just the connection that we both felt was unbelievable. In intimate relationships, this is just so beautiful and so powerful, because we really can be very, very present with the other person. We're letting down those defense mechanisms. We're opening ourselves up to deeper and greater depths of love, which only allows that, deeper connection within the self as well. And I think, at all times we're either learning something about ourselves, learning something about other people, or learning something about life. And from that soul evolution point of view, there's no right or wrong. It's only the ego mind that will actually judge itself then as well, which is kind of funny, in how it needs to be, or make it wrong for feeling like, it shouldn't be trying to control things. Or, I have all those stories that are running, and, I feel a little crazy at times, definitely. And I think because I'm highly attuned to a lot of that stuff too, it really can complicate things. But what I find is left hand on the heart, doing some deep breathing. Deep breathing helps to reset the autonomic nervous system as well, from that fight-flight state, and helps to bring you back to a greater level of feeling safe, feeling secure within yourself. But again, it just being able to find those things that bring you back to you. And I think when we're able to do that more and more often, and notice, when we're going into the ego or the survival mind through the judgment, through the criticism, through the withdrawing, or through the justifying. Actually, justifying is another big way that, whenever we're trying to justify something. So if somebody's invited you somewhere, or you're trying to justify why you've made a particular decision, that will just be the ego again. The core self knows you don't need to justify anything, whether it's taking time out for yourself, or doing something for yourself, or doing something for somebody else, and then somebody else is upset, or any of those things. The ego, will be fully trying to justify that, whereas your core self always knows, it's completely okay to choose and to have and to be and to do whatever it is that you want. And hey, Paul, great to have you on here. And hey, Dinah. And we can fully expand with love in that moment, then coming back to a state of equilibrium, balance, peace, contentment, fulfillment internally, without anything needing to change on the external. And when we allow that to come through and to fully be present, you'll find that the external will shift very, very quickly. So whether that's relationships, or whether that's financial flow, or whether that's, just having fun and enjoying life again from a place of just feeling great within yourself again. Thanks, Inga. You have a great day too, hon. And feeling great within yourself, it will change your world when you can really start to distinguish between the ego and the survival mind, resistance, feeling irritated, any of those negative emotions. And I say in inverted commas, negative emotions, all they are is your guidance system just saying, hey, you're slightly off track here. It's kind of like going down the highway and hitting the bumpy bits on the road. Otherwise we drive off the road, into oblivion and have no clue that that's what we're doing. And so this is where our emotions really serve us. So if we are feeling irritated, what is it that the ego mind is trying to control, or trying to feel safe around in the moment? And when we can acknowledge that, allow ourselves to feel that, and drop into a deeper place of acceptance, like what I've just explained before, and come back to your core self, your truest self in your heart, you'll find the answers within that you need in that moment, and be guided intuitively as to what you actually need to do in that moment. And sometimes it's just literally feeling it, releasing it, and then getting on with your day. So hope that's been helpful. Hey, Katie, great to have you on here, hon. Have a magnificent day, guys. And if you've just jumped in at the end, I definitely recommend jumping back to the start and having a look at that. And I will definitely post post as well, the Power of Gratitude course, that is one of the quickest ways to get back to definitely feeling more and more present in the moment, and allowing yourself to actually feel what you're actually feeling in order to release it and get back to feeling truly joyful, truly incredible internally, and having life show up representing that on the external as well. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you all next week. Bye for now.